Okay, well, I just got jumped off, so I'm back now, and okay, YouTube monitors watching me. Okay, I got one person in here who came back in with me. I got jumped out, and I'm back now. Well, let me see if my chat's working. Yeah, it's working. And I got one thumbs up. Okay, welcome back. So I couldn't see nothing and couldn't say nothing. I hope everybody else comes back. Okay, it just came up again and told me that bye. And again, it's telling me my connection is unstable. Okay, Bonnie, I'll be here. Well, now it keeps jumping between 3 viewers and 4 viewers. And it looks like we lost 3 or 4 viewers. I noticed that, Mel. Sorry about that. That's That's something to do with the Wi-Fi. I'm assuming. Mel, see if you can get a hold of Matt and let him know I'm back on here. Okay, very good, Mel. Technical difficulties. Yeah, Mel, Bonnie has a dog, and okay, very good. Well, I hope it works for her. But Bonnie has this dog that loves Moringa, but she didn't know how much he loved it until she put our flower pots outside with the Moringa trees in it, and the dog ate all the trees. So Lucy likes it too. Good night, night, Mommy. And there's another lady that comes on, Granny's Florida Garden. She's also in Florida. And boy, she got moringa trees out in her backyard, 10, 12 foot tall. She just got a whole mess of them out. Lucy. Well, Melanie, have you ever heard Gomer Pyle sing? Jim Neighbors, have you ever heard him sing? No. Um, uh, I have to go down there and plant it. Why did he say he was going to come and get one? See, I went down, I got his permission last year. One of the ones out in the backyard gets stronger, and then I'll take it down there and fence for him again. A real neat video today. And it's good evening, Matt. Well, they do better outdoors than they do in pots. Um, I've never successfully had one grow real tall in the house in a pot. Oh, I'm definitely sure he is, Mel. especially with all this stuff that's been, Matt. Um, you want to get something that's deep. Um, 18, 24 inches tall, something like that. If you're a handy carpenter and you got some 2x4s and plywood or something, make a wooden box about 2.5 feet tall, 3 feet tall, something like that, and put it in there and fill it almost all the way. Leave about a half an inch of space, but just fill it up with compost, dirt, not dirt, but soil, nothing. And that's now the pots that you have there, that the trees are in. The only thing that's in that pot is black cow compost, and there's no soil in there. It's just black cow compost from the compost or dirt or anything. Just take the whole thing and set it down in the hole because they don't like for their roots to be messed with. Um, I think I lost one or two because I fiddled around with the roots. But um, now, have the yellow leaves fallen off yet, Matt? Okay, the bright green centers that are coming up. Okay, it's my connection, folks, on the buffering, um, and I don't know what to do about it. Uh, it's my Wi-Fi for sure, but the little green stuff at the top, that's the new growth. So as long as it's bright green, you'll know the plant is still alive. And the what it's doing is it's got transplant shock, and it's not feeding the limbs that have the yellow leaves on it anymore. So don't worry about them if they fall off. As long as you got that bright green part on top, then you'll get limbs come out with brand new bright green leaves on it. Yeah, I probably would, Matt. Um, I would wait until they fall off and let that center get established a little bit. Now, looking at the stems will be bright green too. Now, yours may be a little bit yellowish because of the transplant, but normally they're bright green. And after a month or two, you'll notice that it's starting to get grayish color. Well, that grayish color is actually bark. It's growing up the tree. And those stems are hollow like a dandelion stem, because what the plant does, it has several different cell walls in those stems, and it brings the water up through those stems and the nutrients, and it gives the nutrients to the top of the plant, and then it sends the water back down to the roots, and that's how it feeds itself. And uh, if you took one of them and cut it at the end of it, it would kind of look like a honeycomb with all the holes in it, because those are the holes that send it up, and then return holes that bring it back down. But yes, I would wait until the yellow leaves fall off before you transplant it. Yeah, they're really a neat plant. You can take that plant, that tree, and plant it in the ground on contaminated property, and it will actually suck the contamination out of the ground, take it into the roots, and transfer it to nutritional vitamins and bring it up into the tree. And they use these trees to clean up PCBs out of the soil. And the scientists don't understand how it does it because uh, the it's the only tree in the world that does it. It's the fastest growing tree in the world, and it'll cure over 300 diseases. That's not me saying it. If you do research, uh, go into Google and type in Moringa research papers. Last count, I saw 375,000 research papers in Google. And all the scientists are trying to figure out how this tree does what it does. Um, I give it water, maybe. They like lots of water. The only thing is, if you give them too much water, they'll wilt. Uh, they don't like the roots sitting in water. That's why you like. That's why you want a tall pot, so that when you water it until you see water come out the bottom of the pot, and that's enough water. And don't water it for maybe another week or two, and that'll help the plant because it'll send out signals to the roots to go down looking for more water. And then when you water it again, the water's going to pass by all those roots and it's going to get nutrition from the water. And as the water goes out the bottom's going to kind of dry up a little bit and it's going to tell the roots to go down further. Now it has a big taproot on it. The taproot on your trees are probably as big as my little finger. And like I say, they don't like the roots messed with, but I have seen people dig them up out of the ground and do just what I did out here in the yard. I had 26 trees growing in a 13-gallon flower pot, and I had to separate them, get them out of there because they weren't they would have been crowding each other out. And those two trees you got are two of the trees that I had to take out of that big pot. Um, let's see. Uh, do you have the trees in the house or are you setting them outside, Matt? And how often do I recommend you to water them? Once every 2 weeks. And I'm not getting any text from anybody. Well, I think I lost the connection again. Oh, there we go. Okay, very good, Mel. In your sunroom, okay, set them outdoors. Set them out in a place where they'll get the morning sun and the evening sun, so they get sun all day long. The more sun they have, the faster they'll grow. These trees will grow about between 18 and 30 feet in 1 year with plenty of sunshine all day. And I'm going to figure out a way so that I don't have to dig them up in the wintertime, some way to heat the ground. Uh, like if I made a wooden planter, I could put heat tape around the inside of the wooden planter, and that would keep the roots from freezing in the wintertime. So I might just do that. And whenever you get a chance, when it rains outside, set them out in the rain. Let them get rained on because rainwater has a lot of nitrogen in it. Oh, they won't burn, Mel. They won't burn. They're used to growing in temperatures 100, 110 degrees. Okay, very good on the enclosed patio. That would be good for this winter. Then your roots wouldn't freeze and your tree would live through the whole year. Um, Anything you should be aware of? Well, not really. It's a plant that doesn't need any care to it. I mean, it's not like a tomato plant where you have to go out and weed around it uh, or spray it. You don't want to spray it with anything. Um, and the leaves actually uh, the leaves generate a smell that bugs don't like. In fact, they use uh, moringa juice over around Africa and India. They use it to spray their crops with because it'll kill a lot of different insects and stuff. Well, in the wintertime, you dig them up and take them in the house. Oh, hope you didn't burn them with a heat tape in the winter. No, I don't think heat tape gets that hot now. It'll get warm enough to keep the soil warm so it doesn't freeze. But uh, I'm not sure of that, Matt, about stacking the straw bales around the base of the tree. I buried my trees under mulch this past winter. The only thing is, the tree trunk rotted off at the top of the mulch pile. Okay, Mel. Have a good night, sweetheart. Love you. Oh yes, they're a very hardy plant. They really are. I mean, they can go weeks without water, and uh, in the fall, you may see it turn brown, and you'll think it's dead, but it's not. It just goes dormant in the wintertime. And oh, I got something else to show you here, Matt. Uh, this is my ultimate goal. Uh, this is a moringa tree seed pod, and let me see. Okay, you can see right here where the pot is a pod is split open. These are dried out moringa pods, and they're full of seeds. And what happens is this hangs from the tree, and the seed pod splits open and lets the seeds come out, and the seeds have like paper wings on them, and it lets them float through the air, and they'll float out, 10 or 20 feet away from the tree to grow more trees. And it takes about 2 or 3 years to get your tree uh, mature enough to do this. Now, these are three-sided pods, and the seeds are also three-sided seeds. That would be a good idea to keep them in pots all winter long, and then put them permanently outside next spring, because they'll be a year old then, and uh, they'll be a little more mature, and they might last a little better during the wintertime. But you can take when these are green, you can take and cut them into sections and fry it in a frying pan, just like okra. And it, it definitely has a distinctive taste to it, even the leaves. Um, I don't know if you've ever been, when you were a kid, if you've ever been out running around someplace and you fall down and your mouth goes into the grass and you end up with a mouth full of grass. Well, that's what moringa tastes like. It's not really that bad. It's a taste. It's not um, a dirty, rotten, nasty taste. It's just a different taste. It's a green taste, and it takes a little bit to get used to. Now, what I do, Matt. Um, oh, certainly, sir. Tell Melanie I said to give you my phone number, and then you can call me whenever you want to. And I'll show you what I got here in this cup. If I can do this without dropping my camera in a cup. But this is Moringa Tea that you make out of powdered moringa, and it's good. You put honey in it. When you're steeping your tea, you put about 2 spoons of honey in it, and then it gives it a little bit better flavor. And do you live in Easily, Matt? Okay, good night, Debbie. And give Jackson a little pat on the head for me. God bless you, my friend. Talk to you later. Oh yes, Brandon. Everything's fine here. We got no problems here at all. Uh, we live in a small town, so we don't. We're not subjected to some of the things the bigger towns have, if you know what I mean. And welcome back, Mel. Mel, next time you talk with Matt, give him my phone number so he can call me whenever he wants to. Okay, Mel. Um, yeah, I'll tell you. Let me see. I don't see. I have a link here someplace. Um, for a Moringa farm over in the UK or EA, European Union, whatever it is, and they have live cameras. You can go there during. Well, they're 6 hours ahead of us. So, like right now, it's actually 5 o'clock in the morning over there. But you can go in there and watch them working, harvesting from the trees and stuff like that. It's really neat. And Matt, there's a guy down in Florida that has thousands of moringa trees growing. And that's who I've been buying my moringa from while I'm waiting for my trees to mature and come to harvest. But I'll tell you, Matt, eh, the process of processing moringa is so simple. It's a first grader could do it. I mean, you break the limbs off, take them in the house, rinse them off in cold water to make sure there's no little critters crawling on them, spiders or ants or something like that. And then taking, I've got a, I've got a window screen right here. I got an onion curing on it right now, but I lay it all out on that screen. This is my grow room, which is a mess here, but uh, I lay it all out on that screen, and of course I have a ceiling fan going around here to circulate the air. It only takes how much moringa per cup? About 1 or 2 tablespoons. I don't know the difference between a tablespoon and a teaspoon, but whichever is the smallest one, that's what you use. Now I've got a little spoon right here, Matt. Oh, you live in Pickens? Oh, well, have Melanie give you my address and come on over and look at these trees. And, we can have a ball. Bring your wife over. My wife's usually home. She babysits for Melanie, so she's usually home 6:30, something like that. And come on over, bring your wife. We'll sit down and we'll answer any questions that we can for you. Now, I'm not a doctor, okay? I just know what it has done for me. And I have seen the research studies and the list of diseases that it will cure. And the thing about it, Matt, is it's not just me saying it'll cure these diseases. And it's not just a doctor in Atlanta saying it'll cure these diseases. Um, these trees, uh, they process them into powder over in India. And there were some missionaries in India, and they heard about this powder that was called the miracle tree, and they searched around and finally found the seeds for it, and got a couple of plants, and they brought it back from India, and they talked with doctors over in India, and they say that the moringa powder, the trees, have been used for over 7,000 years as a secret religious medicine to cure all kinds of diseases. And there's a list. If I can find it, I'll give Melanie the file and have her print it out for us. But there is a list of a lot of the diseases that Moringa has cured over the last 7,000 years. Well, it came into the United States around in the late 80s or early 90s, I think. And that's when all these research studies started getting done. And the only reason it's not the only reason a doctor doesn't prescribe it is because it's not made by a pharmaceutical company. And the pharmaceutical companies don't want to mess with it because they can't get a patent on a plant. It's considered a vegetable. Let's see. Well, Mel, if you want to, I've got a bag with about 1,000 seeds in it, Mel. And, one way to make sure whether the tree is going to grow or not is to take the seeds and put them between two wet paper towels. And 3 days later, you got a sprout coming out of the seed. That's called germinating a seed. And then you know it's going to grow a tree. Now, this is one of the actual seeds. This seed is when you buy them, they're actually inside a shell, like a walnut has a shell on it. And you just break the shell off of it and put that seed between moist paper towels in a, not out in the sun. You put it in a shade someplace. Oh man, I wish. Oh, he's also got a trailer that he can haul that tractor on, bring it over to Papa's house and plow his backyard up. That'll save me. I wouldn't have to buy a rototiller. But Matt, I had arthritis very, very bad. I had problems walking and everything else. And this is a little baby spoon. You can see how big it is compared to my thumb. And I've got small hands, and I don't have. Well, here's a cigarette lighter here. Okay, you can see how small it is. Well, I took 2 spoons of the moringa powder, or not moringa powder, but the moringa leaves, dump it in my mouth, chew on it for a minute, for about a minute or 2 minutes, and then drink a cup of coffee. And within 15 minutes, you feel a rush of energy. The neat thing about this rush of energy, there's no caffeine in this. It's a pure vegetable protein product. And I can give you a list or show you the list of all the different vitamins and minerals and nutrients, amino acids, and all this stuff. But I took 2 spoons a day for 3 days, and I could run a marathon now. It has done me. It has done several things. It lowered my blood sugar. I actually could go off of my blood sugar medicine now. It'll lower your blood pressure. It'll cure liver disease, kidney disease, some forms of cancer, pancreas problems. It's just heart disease, blindness. There's just so many things about it. But your doctor it's illegal for your doctor to tell you to take an herb unless it's manufactured by a pharmaceutical company. It's illegal for your doctor to prescribe it or even talk to you about it. Now, if you ask him, he can talk to you, but he cannot recommend any herbs for a patient. It is illegal. They can lose their license and go to jail. And that comes from back historically over in England when they first started making, medicines in a pharmacy. There were laws passed that say they can't do that. Yeah, no problem. I can pull it all up on the screen for you. In fact, what I ought to do, I've got a lot of the stuff on this computer, but I can't turn my camera around and show it to you, or else this is what's going to happen when you look at the screen. Get right here, get right. That's called video feedback. You see my screen here, and my screen here, my screen here, and that's called video feedback. And it'll just keep going forever and ever. But there is a program that I can use to do like collaboration. And I can be talking to you and showing you other pictures at the same time. In fact, that would be something I could do this weekend or maybe tomorrow night or something like that. Now, there's one girl in Atlanta, Georgia, and I can't remember her username. Anyway, she has cancer, and every time she goes to the cancer center for treatment, she takes her cell phone and makes a video of everything that happens. And she had her doctor in there one day, and he asked her if she was staying on her strict diet, and she says, yes, but I'm taking Moringa. And he looked at her and he says, you're taking what? She says, I'm taking Moringa. And he says, that's probably the best medicine you could be taking. Because, chemotherapy is actually poison. It's poison they're putting in your body to kill the cancer cells. But at the same time, it kills everything else it gets in contact with. So, who wouldn't love to have a medicine that will cure it? And like I say, I'm not a doctor, and I never played one in a Civil War movie. But I'd love to see if it helped. In fact, I'd love to have like a video before and after of your wife to show the improvements that have been made. I've had several people tell me, oh yeah, I'll send you videos, and they never send videos. But maybe we can make one, and we don't have to use her last name or anything. Because you never see last names on a commercial anyway. I mean, when you see commercials on TV, it usually down at the bottom, it'll say Betty J, Los Angeles, California. They don't tell their real names. I know, Mel. That's when I started researching it, is when you and Brandon got cancer. It is amazing. It really is. Now, I sit around all day long because I'm bored when my wife is babysitting, and I get lazy. You know, I'll lay down on the couch with a puppy dog and fall asleep and sleep all day long. But um, when you take moringa, it gives you energy, and you'll feel it. I can sit down when I have the moringa. I should be getting some here in the next couple of days, so I can make up some more capsules. But that's right. They treat the symptoms instead of the problem. Now, um, you can go on some of the nutrition networks on YouTube, and they'll tell you, oh, you know, if you eat beets, that'll you know that'll lower your blood sugar. And then if you take some of this garlic water, um, that'll help your skin. And then uh, if you take this, it'll cure your blindness. Warning: if you take this, it could make your ears bleed. It could make your nose bleed, make you vomit blood all day. You know, I don't like commercials like that. And with moringa is a vegetable. If it doesn't make you better, it's definitely not going to hurt you because it's a vegetable, just like a carrot. Okay. Um, so there's no. Now, I held this little bottle up right here. This bottle leaked in shipping. This is moringa leaf extract. Um, in fact, I have a kit here that I just recently got. Okay. I got your email, Matt. So we're good there. Yeah, well, I got it all figured out. I can't do it, like I can't switch from this program to that one because it'll disconnect us again. But what I'll do in the future is I will, when I start my chat, I'll start it with the other program so that I can show you files and stuff on my computer, and I can play videos for you and everything else. Now, this is the moringa leaf powder, and it's a very, very fine powder. I mean, it's finer than face powder. If you put a little bit of this hand and it would blow it right out of your hand. And then we have moringa spice. That is also good. Then we have, the moringa seeds, that little bag of seeds. And then we have moringa deodorant and cleanser. And this all made with moringa oil. And I got a couple of things that aren't in this bag. Boy, that smells good. Oh, smell that. Smell it. Put your nose up there. This is smell-o-vision. Oh, I love the smell of that. But you will too when you get it. There's a bath bomb, which is a big ball of soap about like yay big, and you chuck it in the bathtub when you get in there. Let me see what else I got here. That's about it. But I'll tell you, Matt, you can get what's called the Marina Starter Kit. This comes from Kendrick Henry down in Florida at the Newman Nursery. And I can give you all this information when you come. I can call them and you can talk to them. But that comes with a whole bunch of goodies inside. And in fact, you can't see it. Let me hold this up here. Right here is the bath bomb I was telling you about. And a whole bunch of other goodies in there. Plus, you get the little thing that's like a tea infuser, if you know what that is. It's like a little sieve that's in the shape of, it's in a ball shape, about the size of a golf ball. And you put your moringa powder in there, and then you put that down in your cup when you're making your tea. And you can use it, you can use the leaves more than once. So I'm definitely an animal. Yeah, I want an eagle, globe, and anchor tattooed right between my eyes, right there. Big one, so nobody will miss it when I walk down the street. But I'll tell you what, folks, I'm going to let y'all go. And because I know, Matt, you go to work in the morning, I'm sure. And but anytime you're around town here, Matt, feel free to stop in. You can't miss my house. It's a little white house that sits sideways on the street. The front of the house doesn't face the street. It sits sideways. And there's a storage building right on the edge of the street with a red roof, and my red Durango sitting in front of that storage building. Oh, you won't, you can't compare it to Moringa. I mean, like I was telling you, I would take 2 spoons every morning and then look up at the clock. And within 15 minutes, I'm having a rush. And the neat thing about it is, it gives you like a caffeine kick. Okay, good, Mel. The only thing is, with a caffeine high, sometimes you fall real hard when that high goes away. It doesn't do that with Moringa. You really won't notice it wearing off, but it probably won't wear off until you fall asleep at night. It'll help you sleep better, and it will. When you wake up in the morning, you will feel totally rested, and it'll definitely clean you out. I'll tell you. It's known for its anti-inflammatory agents and antioxidation properties. I think that's how you pronounce it. And it'll clean out your liver and your kidneys and your bladder and everything. Now, for the first day or two, like if you're not open on Saturdays, I would take my first dose like Friday evening, before or after supper, doesn't matter, because it might make you take frequent restroom breaks, if you know what I mean. And that'll be when it's cleaning you out, and it may do that for a day or two, but then after you get cleaned out, it's going to control. It will control irritable bowel syndrome too, and that's when you sit down and eat something in a restaurant, and you get up and you go get in your car, and you get halfway between the restaurant and your house. It'll cure that problem, definitely. But anyway, there's so many benefits to it that I could talk for hours on things that it has helped me with. and I just want to help other people. So anyway, I'm going to let you go for tonight, and I'm say God bless you to everybody. And to those of you that weren't able to get back in here the second time when I came on and said I'm back, I apologize for that, but it's a Wi-Fi problem that I haven't got straightened out yet. And I don't know. We'll get it done. You can smell it, can't you? I knew you could smell it. I knew you could. You know, I was on here one night talking uh, talking about the benefits of Moringa, and this young kid came on, and he said, "Can you smoke it?" I said, "I don't know. You know, I don't sit around thinking about. Well, let's see. I wonder if I could smoke that." I told him I don't know. So that night, I've got a cigarette machine that rolls my cigarettes for me. It's an electric cigarette machine. I filled it full of moringa powder. And I lit that sucker. Worst headache I ever had in my life. I mean, it wasn't like a high or nothing like that. It was a bad migraine headache. And he came on a couple of nights later, and I said, "Yeah, you can smoke it. I smoked one the other night when he asked me. But you're going to get a bad headache from it, buddy." And but I don't know. I'm just learning this, and there's a scientist in Montana, Missouri, Eric Plott, and I had him on one night, interviewed him with that other program, so you could see me and him at the same time, collaborating and answering questions from people in the text area. And then I had Kendrick Henry from the Newman Nursery, which is, he also has an organization called the Moringa Growers Co-op. And so whenever I need something, I buy it from him. But if you bought one of these kits, you would get 10 free trees with your kit. And that's where 10 of my trees came from that I got planted out in the yard. And they're living, grown trees. They're about 10 or 12 inches tall. But anyway, I know you gotta go. Yes, that's the thing. That's why I ordered a kilo from him, because a kilo is what, 2.25 pounds, and that's a lot of dried moringa leaves. I mean, it comes compressed in a pack, And I made, let's see, I made about 1,000 seeds out of one of these containers that was only about half full of moringa. I made over 1,000 seeds with that much, or 1,000 capsules with that much powder. So with 2.5 or 2.25 pounds, I know there's going to be a lot. Well, I'll tell you, there were times, Matt, when I would come on at 9 o'clock at night, and at 3 o'clock in the morning, the last person was signing off. I did that too many times until I just had to tell the people, I can't do this all night anymore. Oh, no problem at all. No problem at all. You know what we can do, Matt? If we can get Melanie and Roger together at the same time, and you and your wife and my wife and I, we'll go down to Moses restaurant down there and have us some coffee and just sit around and talk. Because, you buy a cup of coffee and they'll refill it all night long for you. Now, Matt, do you own that tattoo place? Well, oh, Cooter owns it. Well, I meant the business. Is he the owner of the business, or is Cooter the owner of the business? I don't mean the building. I mean the tattoo business. Okay, very good, very good. Good evening, Clean YouTube. How are you this evening, my friend? We were just fixing to sign off here in a minute, but uh, where are you located? My name is Ken, and I'm in upstate South Carolina. Oh, that's cool, Mel. And he did buy the building, Mel. Here's an idea, Matt. You could advertise, you come in and get a tattoo, and we'll give you free 4 moringa trees. And another thing too, Matt, when you're doing YouTube searches for uh, moringa, you're going to find a lot of companies out there. Uh, they'll grow the moringa, or they'll buy it from somebody and put their label on it and sell it in a multi-level marketing. That don't get caught up in any of those. It's too easy to grow it and process it yourself and sell it than it is to get into an organization where it's like Amway, if you remember Amway from years back. Okay, well, folks, I'm going to Let's see. Right now, probably as tall as the ones I have. A kilo is $59, free shipping. And I've got the machine to make the capsules. The capsules cost, I think it was $10 for 1,000 capsules. And if you want to buy a kilo, and when you get it, bring it over here, and we can use my machine, and we can make you up a bunch of capsules in a heartbeat. Well, maybe 2 heartbeats. Now, Matt, if you don't mind, can you explain MS to me? And what do they do to treat MS, if anything? Now, I'll tell you what, Matt, don't hit your backspace button. We'll talk about that over coffee because I've got so many questions about it that, I'll keep it typing all night long. I don't want to do that. But let me let you go. And we got to do it this weekend. I mean, the sooner the better. And I'm around here all day and all night. So anytime you're going by, feel free to stop and look and see what I got out here. I'm not selling nothing, so don't be afraid of that. I mean, I'm not trying to push you into buying anything. I want to help, okay? And people have helped me change flat tires out on the interstate. Never charged me a dime. It's like you're paying it forward. Um, and if I can help just one person, that'll make my whole hobby of studying Moringa worthwhile. So, and God put that plant on this earth to cure people. I can't really see. I can't really see making up a bunch of Moringa capsules for somebody and selling it to them. Because God's given it to me. He's growing it in my backyard. Now, last year, I've got a video, several videos on the YouTube channel, Moringa harvest videos on my channel that show my tallest tree. It was about 8 or 9 feet tall, maybe. And unfortunately, that's the one that I tried to overwinter, out there with the mulch, and it rotted it. But here's something else I didn't tell you. Once these trees start growing, you can chop them off. You chop the top off, take that tree trunk, stick it in the ground, and it will grow you another tree. Plus, this one will still be alive. And each time you cut the trunk of this tree, it's gonna come out with 2 limbs instead of just the center limb. And then you cut them, and they'll come out with 2 more limbs on each one. It's an amazing plant. We'll talk to you later, my friends. And God bless y'all. Go to bed, Melanie. Time for you to be in bed, Mel. We'll see you folks later. You know, so I'm going to end the live stream now. And if you missed anything because it buffered, go back when the video gets published on YouTube and watch it from the beginning. Oh, I got all kinds of marketing ideas. I certainly do. Camping day. Okay, very good, Mel. Okay. I'm going to click on end the stream right now. And Matt, get over here as soon as you can. Bring your wife, or if she doesn't feel like coming, have her write down any questions that she might have and bring them with you. We'll see if we can't get them answered for you. I know two people that do have all the answers. So we'll talk to y'all later. Good night and God bless.